Speaking Human.
Today on Speaking Human, we make you wonder whether you're listening to real people or artificial intelligence as we discuss Google's latest innovation.
Speaking Human.
Welcome to Speaking Human, where we simplify the world of marketing for humans. I'm Shad Conley, and with me is my co-host, Patrick Jebber.
What's up, Shad? How's it going?
Is that really you, or is it AI? I can't tell. You actually sound too robotic, so that means I know it's really you.
What do you mean? How are you, Shad? I didn't hear you.
It's not real.
Wouldn't it be funny? Just keep asking the same question. How are you, Shad?
You're going to know in the future. A real AI would never talk that robotic. It's fake. This is all going to make sense when you hear what we're talking about today. Some new technology that's come along from Google that's going to change how robots or AI talk to us. But before we get into that, we're going to play a little game, Patrick. Do you like games about Google?
I do love games about Google, simply because Google has, it's ruled our lives for quite some time. So,
Yeah, a lot of our world revolves around Google. So we're going to play a little Google game. What's real and what's not real? We're going to each name 3 new technologies from Google. 2 of them are real and 1 of them is fake. And the other person is going to have to guess which one is the fake one. It's going to be tough. Google's got some crazy stuff out there. Do you want to go first, Patrick, and name your technologies for me to guess?
Yeah, this is going to be fun. All right. So product or innovation number 1 is glucose contact lenses. A Google-designed contact lens that measures the glucose level in tears of diabetics. And a cheap, disposable device the size of a Band-Aid to be worn on the skin to send blood sugar measurements to a smartphone. So all that works in tandem together, okay? That's innovation number 1. Innovation number 2 is Google Replay. So Google, realizing the historic value of Twitter feeds and their commentaries and the firsthand accounts that Twitter has had, Google began archiving every tweet in what it calls Google Replay, a search function that represents in bar chart form the popularity of tweets throughout a period in time and lists the associated tweets for you to browse chronologically, okay? Now, innovation number 3, the Google Autonomous Pet. After the acquisition of Boston Dynamics and the continued development of the Big Dog and Spot robots, Google began a project suited for the consumer market and the need for a lifelong companionship. The development team is planning on releasing a version 1 of the Autonomous Pet project in early 2019 and expects to roll out a line of consumer-friendly 4-legged robots that look and feel like family pets. Not only does it sense rough terrain environments using LIDAR and stereo vision in conjunction with a suite of onboard sensors, it also senses emotions from the owner through speech pattern recognition. So those are the 3 innovations you have to pick from. Which one is a lie?
Which one is the fake one? This one is tough. I've heard of the glucose contact lens. So I'm going to knock that out of there because I remember hearing about that. That I think is legit. So I'm between the Replay, which I never really have heard of, or the dog. I remember hearing about Boston Dynamics, and I know Google owns them or acquired them, and they had produced the robotic dogs. I don't know if there is an actual plan to make family dogs. That sounds legit.
They all sound legit, right? They all sound like...
But that one sounds the farthest. I'm going to go with that one. That's going to be my guess. The family dogs are fake. Google is not making family robot dogs.
And you would be, sadly, you would be correct. You're correct, yes.
You really positioned that realistically.
It does. Sounds just like something that they would do, right?
Yeah. I think they're even going to hear that and they're going to start doing it. Because they already have that Boston Dynamics thing, And the reading emotion things. Did you make that whole part up?
Yeah, I made that up.
That was good.
Yeah.
You should pitch this.
You know, the one thing that I thought might be a giveaway to you was Boston Dynamics. It is now not part of Google anymore. So that might have been the dead giveaway for you.
Yeah, and when you kind of go deep on Google and what they've done in the past decade, you realize nothing's quite too crazy. You know what I mean? Nothing's like too far out there. Nothing's impossible, you know, even the most outlandish ideas. Are you ready for mine? You ready to guess?
I'm excited.
All right, let's see if you can get it. Mine aren't quite as detailed as yours. Number 1, a smart spoon for Parkinson's patients. Number 2, a microchip to turn thoughts into typed notes. Number 3, an elevator to take people into space.
I don't like yours. I think yours are too difficult.
Do you feel like they're too short? Not
too
giving you
short.
enough there? You want some more meat on the bone?
Well, you know, I mean, so the smart spoon, what is the smart spoon? It's just...
It's for Parkinson's patients, you know, who have problems with tremors and shaking, so it make it easier for them to eat without the shaking being a problem. Then the second one was a microchip to turn thoughts into typed notes. So you would just think it, and it would kind of appear as a note. And then the third one was an elevator to take people into space.
Like Willy Wonka, the glass elevator kind of thing.
Yeah, but higher.
I love it. You know, oddly enough, I think it's the spoon.
You think the spoon is the fake one?
Yeah, the spoon is the most realistic, which is what makes me think it might be the spoon.
Going with the spoon, your final answer.
Yes.
It is not the spoon.
Man, I hate your list.
It is, in fact, the microchip to turn thoughts into typed notes, made up by me.
I thought I heard of that, actually.
You have now. Google's going to be working on it tomorrow. If you called them up, they'd probably be like, we worked on that back in 2010. It's a dead end.
It's a dead end. We decided to go with robotic pets.
Yeah, that stupid thought microchip. We're not doing that. We're working on the space elevator.
We want people to just hit the button that says space.
Yeah. They like hit it like 5 times because the door's not closing.
They're like, wouldn't that really suck to get stuck up there? You know, who's gonna come get you? The firemen?
Space elevator's out of order again.
It's a good list, man. I gotta be honest. Google is one company that, like you said, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. So you could say something totally off the wall, maybe unrealistic, and still be the products that they're working on.
Yeah, you forget how much they've actually done and the fact that they have all these companies now in the Alphabet family, companies they've acquired. They have their main Google thing, but then they have all these other companies. They have what used to be Google X. It's now just called X, which is kind of like a secret research and development facility devoted to what they say is investing in launching moonshot technologies, which are just really out there ideas. So they have all these sort of things. They own Nest. They used to have something to do with Boston Dynamics and those robot dogs. Or Google Loon is another one that I hadn't heard of before, but they have balloons traveling to the edge of space with the goal of providing internet access to everyone.
Yeah.
Including in like rural and poor areas so that everyone can get access to the internet everywhere, which is pretty crazy. They're just doing it all the time, whether we know it or not.
Yeah, their innovations, you know, whether or not they follow through with bringing things to market, the positive progress that they make helps the world as a whole, right? Because other companies then come in and they go, yeah, there's viability to this innovation. And even if Google doesn't take it and run with it, these other companies may, or something similar, you know what I mean? That can help society, I guess.
Yeah, they're like have their fingers in all these different things. You just kind of almost forget what an innovator they've been.
Yeah, look at Google itself. Google started in 98. Got 20 years, and this company has really revolutionized a lot of things. We sort of take it for granted now, but the accessibility of knowledge should not go unsaid. And search itself changed because of them, right? The ability to search for anything that you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, it's been a game changer. It's why they have the verb, right? Google, to Google it. And even you look at some of these sub innovations as part of that, where you get like the search suggestions that come up when you just type a couple letters, or translation. You can just type something in and have it instantly translated. Or Street View is crazy when you think about when that first came about, where they were just going around and getting these images everywhere and you could just type in an address and see it. That's kind of the stuff we take for granted a little bit now.
Yeah.
Of course, now, a lot of their innovation that we're seeing anyways as consumers is focused on Google Assistant. That's kind of where, their big marketing push has been this year. We've seen a lot on. And that's related to what we're going to be talking about today. So in a minute, we'll give you a glimpse into a future world where voice assistants sound just like, we humans do. But first, let's get a quick word from our sponsors.
Today's sponsor is Farmers Insurance. Insurance can be confusing, overwhelming, and time-consuming. At Hire Insurance Agency, we remove the guesswork and hassle, helping you protect what matters most. We offer a wide range of auto, home, business, and life insurance policies to help you meet your specific needs. Call 844-543-3463 or visit hireinsurance.com. That's HYRE insurance.com for more information.
So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a clip from Google I/O 2018, where Google CEO Sundar Pichai displayed Google Duplex, a new technology for conducting natural conversations to carry out real-world tasks over the phone. Unlike the robotic voices of today's Google Home and Alexa, Google Duplex technology is built to sound more human, including using ums and so you might not even be able to tell that you were talking to an AI. It's pretty crazy.
So let's talk about Google Duplex, the interestingly named Google Duplex. So yeah, we have 3 key questions we're going to ask about this technology and talk through here today. The first one is a pretty simple one. Is this a good idea? Is this technology useful, helpful, valuable to people in some way? What do you think, Patrick?
I think in a world where we're increasingly being pulled in every direction, I think having virtual assistants can be beneficial to people. Will everybody use them? Probably not. I think there's always going to be that technological barrier of entry. People are just going to hesitate like anything else. And then in like 15 years, people will be like, well, I didn't know what I did without virtual assistant. So how about you?
It's like a hesitant yes.
Yes.
It seems like it could be a major time saver. In that way, I think about, those little calls you make every day. If maybe someone else would do them for me, that would be nice. But, it creates this weird thing. Is it going to work? Is it essential? Probably not.
Yeah.
Would I like that? I would. Would I do it? I'd be hesitant to. I don't know. So it's it's an I don't know. It's not a like, wow, that's solving a problem I really need to solve. But obviously time saving is something that in our increasingly busy world is always something people are going to be looking for.
Yeah.
It's not essential. It's not solving like an age-old problem that, finally someone has the solution.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's more of a convenience. It's not a necessity. You could still make those calls. You could still do all of those minute tasks yourself. And you'd probably not be any wiser because of it. It's like you've been doing it all your life. You could still do it. It's always those weird things like that. It comes in, does it for you, and then suddenly you're like, why did I ever have to do that? You know, like that was such a trivial thing in my life and now it's gone. And I don't know what I did before this, you know? Look at anything on a smartphone.
I mean, even email.
Yeah.
Like email, you could say it's not essential, but how all those things were done before, right?
Let me ask you this mind-blowing question, Chad. When was the last time you memorized a phone number?
Ha!
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like it's such a simple, stupid question. And I'm sure you probably can rattle off yours, maybe your wife's phone number, maybe your parents, maybe.
You actually named the 3 phone numbers I probably know in the world.
I can't even tell you what my mom's phone number is. I could recognize it if it comes in because it does show the phone number. But this is one of those things, right? It could be that type of thing.
You talk about for years, decades, executives, higher up people have had personal assistants, right? Who do all this stuff for them. If you could bring that to the everyday person, I mean, that'd be incredibly convenient, right? Even at work, if everybody had these, instead of us going through email to schedule a meeting with 5 people and going back and forth, if none of us had to do that and the assistants just did it all themselves until they found a meeting time that worked for everybody,
Yeah.
we didn't have to do it. We're just like, oh, good, that meeting is set up. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. Your AI is talking to my AI, and then you find out your AI is having an affair with this other AI, and they're actually having a whole relationship you don't even know about.
I have to get a new AI. It's hard for me, but
Because your AI has made it weird and uncomfortable for the other AI.
my AI has violated HR codes.
That's actually the weird thing about this technology is you actually never hear, you're supposed to never really even know what the conversations are. It has it without you, right? You're not listening in. So I feel like they need to have some level of oversight at the beginning.
Like recording.
Something.
You know, I also think how easily, especially if people know this is happening and they have to like announce themselves, how easily could it get thrown off track?
Yeah.
What if somebody is talking to this AI and just starts asking it weird questions? What does it take to freak it out or just make it short circuit and it's like, I gotta go.
I gotta go right now.
Yeah. Do you know, is it just like, let's just focus on what we're trying to do here, okay?
It gets really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's kind of interesting too, because I mean, obviously there's a lot of variables, more so than that simple conversation they give in the Google example.
Yeah, it could get out of control, I'm sure. And that's the part that's sort of the unknown, right? That is the technology totally there? Maybe not. Maybe it's not to the point where it can solve all of these different problems or like to a sci-fi level, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just these simple tasks, but it's where everything starts, right? You know, people didn't think they would use Siri or Hey Google, any of those. But now, you know, I mean, it's become pretty commonplace. Still not perfect, but they're pretty decent solutions for what it is.
Yeah. You know, there's a marketing job to be done with this once it is unleashed, if it ever is, showing people how to use it and how it's valuable and making that case so people will adopt it in the mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Marketing is always important if you want people to use it.
Well, especially with something new where it's, you know, people kind of have to wrap their brains around it in a new way.
Yeah. That brings us to the next question. Does Google have the responsibility to disclose when its AI is posing as a human? Do you think we have the right to know when we are talking to a machine, Chad?
That is a good question. I guess so. You know, it's not something I'd ever thought about before.
Yeah.
But because most of the time you've always known when you were talking to a machine, so it's never really been in question. But I guess if you're in the situation where you don't, would I want to know? Maybe.
Weird to think that we're at a place, right, that this is actually the discussion we're having, isn't it?
Where you couldn't know, right?
Yeah.
Where you're at a place where you could be on the phone with a machine and not know it. The ethical, easy answer seems to just be like, yes, why not just have them announce themselves, right? But then talking about the benefit of some of this stuff, the side part could be that some people would just hang up on it and be like, I'm not talking to no robot.
Yeah. I think it's really similar to the questions that are posed in a lot of sci-fi movies and shows where people and their hesitation, I could see it happening. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Immediately, not wanting anything to do with it. There's a whole section of people who are, you know, they'd be down with what this can do and, you know, open to the benefits. Then there's like a kind of section of people you'd have to win over, and there's that no way section of people who would just a lot of fear of where this could go, and it is opening up a can of worms.
Yeah. Because audio is like the first step, right? And then you've got physical form. Yeah, all those age-old sci-fi questions of, are they going to take over? What's the
Yeah.
next step, you know? So I know that there's that fear level that people have, but
Even on a less extreme level, it really, the whole thing made me immediately think of the movie Her, which I think we played a clip for recently on the show,
yeah.
which is, you know, where you have a guy who falls in love with his voice assistant on his phone, which is the voice of Scarlett Johansson. You could see why that happens, but it's just, you know, it becomes so smart and natural, and it's just sounds like he's talking to a person, right? And they're just having these deep conversations, and that feels like where we're headed with this, doesn't it? It seems like that is the direction we're going in, for better or worse.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up Scarlett Johansson in the movie Her, because if this technology were to become commonplace, that's the celebrity who I'd want for my voice assistant. I loved her voice in that movie. What about you?
That's immediately what I went to, you know, because in that
we're men.
movie, it was maybe and probably, but she was so perfect, that voice, which I've heard in that movie, they actually recorded another voice and then had her come in and redo it because it just wasn't right. But man, her voice is just, it's like so calming, and it's just exactly what you want. But, you know, I think I would actually choose something a little stronger, and I'd go in a little different direction for a couple reasons. This is if this technology were commonplace and you could choose a celebrity voice for your assistant. Any celebrity you wanted, which would be pretty cool and fun. I think I would go with one of two people. I'd go with either Sly Stallone or Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner. All right. Okay.
Two very distinct and kind of weird voices. I picked those two for a reason, right? Because one, people would immediately know this is an AI, right? The second part, it was kind of freak out and annoy people. It'd be like, because you cannot, I just for the life of me cannot picture either of those people trying to schedule an appointment for me. And that's just amazing and hilarious. You know,
Yeah.
Sly like being like, they'd be like, sir, what are you saying?
The people will be like, what?
What is happening?
He needs a haircut. Oh, yeah. Those are good. Kathleen Turner, I feel like that's funny that you very smoker voice.
Husky, kind of deep, you know.
See, if it's talking to me, I want it to be Scarlett Johansson. If it's talking to someone else, I could see what you're saying. Like, I would love, well, even if it was talking to me, I would love, for a male voice, obviously Christopher Walken. If Christopher Walken was talking to me all the
that'd be a good
time,
one.
I mean, that would be amazing, right? But it would also be funny if it was talking to other people, too.
If it becomes like, remember when people had like ringtones or ringback tones? Remember when that was like a thing? That's kind of like what this would become. People are just picking like stupid things to bother you or make a statement.
Yeah, which I could see being a thing too, in and of itself. Picking just weird voices or, you know, celebrity voices. If it's just a normal everyday voice, then you're never gonna know.
Yeah, but celebrity voices is actually a good way to get around the AI problem, because if they're recognizable celebrity voices, you know it's an AI, right?
Right.
You know that's not the celebrity calling to make me a haircut appointment. You know
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's not calling to make me a haircut appointment.
Yeah, oh yeah. for
Though
sure.
maybe. He does need work.
He does. He does. Yeah, no, that's, you know, coming back, I think it's definitely interesting, something that we haven't talked a lot about in the past in terms of the marketing implications of this and just as a general innovation, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll be interested to see where it goes and, you know, when this is unleashed on the public, if it is, in fact, you know, when this kind of becomes a thing and what happens then. Maybe we have the follow-up episode on the release of Google Duplex, or I hope it gets a different name at that point.
All right. Well, everybody, on that note, our final nugget of human wisdom.
Today's nugget of human wisdom comes from a parody video of the Google clip you heard earlier in the show, posted to YouTube by Adam Fireman. This clip points to the potential future uses and problems that Google Duplex could create. And it's also pretty funny. Have a listen.
Hello? Hi, can I talk to Diane, please? Speaking. Hi, Diane. I'm calling on behalf of John to schedule an appointment. For what? The appointment for you to come pick up your belongings from John's apartment. Excuse me? John would like you to remove your belongings from his apartment.
What are you talking about?
I'm very sorry, but John has decided to end your relationship.
Is this a joke? Put John on the phone.
I'm sorry, John's not currently available.
What? Where is John? I cannot believe this. This is bullshit.
How does 10 a.m. sound?
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Oh, if 10 a.m. is not available, what time is suitable for you?
You! Hello?
Hi, can I talk to Diane, please?
So that's a good clip. It's good for a laugh. Also hits on a lot of the things we're talking about. How are people going to use Google Duplex or whatever the technology is called to do something funny, crazy, illegal? Who knows, right? You know, it's where could this possibly go? Though it would be fun to break up with somebody with your voice assistant. Have them do it for you. It's so easy. So easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would be way funnier if your assistant was Sylvester Stallone or Christopher Walken. I don't love you.
Nah, that's a good one. Pick up your bags. They're packed.
Get your shit out of my house. Excuse me? Yeah.
That's the stuff you're like, why didn't they have that when I was younger? I could have used that.
Oh,
That's handy.
That's what I'm saying. People won't know what they did without this at some point. They'll be like, I never break up with my girlfriends.
You make a good point. I wasn't quite convinced on the technology, but after this episode, sold. Completely sold.
Sold on
It's going
it.
to change my life.
It's going to change everyone's lives here pretty soon. I have this feeling. But until then, and until the next episode where we follow up and we talk about how it's changed our lives, that's it.
Well, we won't talk about it. Our assistants will talk about it.
We're going to have our assistants talk through that episode. But that's it for today's episode anyway. You can find current and past episodes of the podcast on speakinghuman.com. You can also find the podcast on Google Play or any other platform where amazing podcasts are available.
Tweet us your thoughts on Google Duplex. Is it the best AI since the movie AI or the worst AI since the movie AI? Well, let us know your take at speaking_human on Twitter. That's at speaking_human on Twitter. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Speaking Human. Catch you then, humans.
Speaking human.